off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 106.5, home to the Asian Oprah, number one talk in the IE. Thank you very much. And streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Spreaker, and more. Why so many places? I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. That's why there's no gossip, no scandal, no K-words, no Kardashian talk here at all. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. And I guarantee you, if you tune into the news first thing in the morning, either on this thing or I don't know if people have TVs anymore, but all the news will give you a case of the 4 A's: angry, aggravated, anxious, and afraid. And I don't want you starting your day that way. I want you to feel amazing. That's why. 4. Let's see. That's what I forgot to do is change this. This is not Throwback Thursday today. It is my regular Friday series. But let's see. Here we go. It is show podcast number 1564 that I've been doing for the past 718 consecutive weeks. The show about hope and happiness. So I bring you topics and guests and guest co-host to help me with that purpose in mind. So today's no exception. And you know, Fridays is straight talk. And normally it's with either James Hawthorne and or Ricky Rebel. And I'm so delighted that you get a guest co-host today. You've seen him as a guest here before. You may have seen him on my social and mine on his. You may have seen me on his show. So he should not be a stranger to you. And I'm so delighted to have him here as the co-host today of Straight Talk with myself and he's not used to that. When I say Straight Talk with myself and as co-host, you get to say your name.
Okay, great. And my name's Norman King the Fourth, and I'm so excited to be here to be presenting this with you guys and just be talking about all the great stuff today with Dr. Marissa.
Fantastic. And I'm gonna give you a little preview of who he actually is. And I didn't get what you said, so I'm just going to go with this because it's impressive anyways. On his IMDb, he's from Washington, D.C., originally born writer, director, and actor. He graduated in 22 with a dual degree in film arts from Emerson College and Paris College of Art, studying and working across Paris and the Netherlands. His thesis short film, Look at Me, screened at festivals all over, including Amsterdam, Los Angeles, London, and DC. He's fluent in Portuguese, Spanish, French, and Russian. Oh, I knew about all but the Russian. He's the founder and CEO of NK4 Productions, a West Hollywood-based film and media company specializing in feature films, television pilots, creative interview series, and fashion and entertainment-driven digital content. He's LA-based and took me to my favorite restaurant last night. He's with Peter Kalanteris Agency. And so I'd like you to give a warm welcome to my guest co-host today, Norman King the Fourth. So great. It's funny. I saw him in person last night. You may have seen the promo. We have been involved in lots of different ventures in the last, since I met you, really. And you have your own podcast show. He told me last night I had like 20,000 viewers of that interview. I know you have a lot of support, not just from DC, but he's my resident Gen Z staff expert for this show. So I just love, well, as you can tell, I'm hashtag ageless, and I love people who promote my youthfulness
Yes.
because you don't grow old. You don't stop laughing because you grow old. You grow old because you stop laughing. And I will not stop laughing
Never,
because it's
never
my
stop.
favorite sound
It's the
in the
best.
world. Yeah. And he told me that one of his friends called me iconic last night, and his parents love my dancing. And I'm just like, I could sit here and bathe in all of the good, just the good vibes. And I really do. I'm grateful that I got to meet you, and we as we continue on this journey together. It's kind of fun. So
Likewise. I'm so
yeah.
blessed that you're in my life. So
Oh,
great.
yes. And with that, let's go to breakfast. We've already started it. Y'all know, first thing in the morning, I want you to take a bite of my gratitude sandwich for breakfast every weekday morning. It's a good life habit and a hashtag blissipline so that when you wake up, you're not going immediately to this and doing MS, meaningless scrolling, because as I said, you'll get a case of the 4 A's, and I want you to feel good. So that's why we do top of the bun. What are we grateful for when we look around us? And bottom of the bun, before you go to bed tonight, what are you grateful for inside of yourself? What do you like about yourself? We're all really good at picking apart what we don't like and what we don't like about others as well as ourselves. But I'm forcing you to weight lift and really get to the point where when you like yourself 88% of the time, then it really doesn't matter what anybody else says. So that's personal mastery. That's my BS, my belief system. So that's why we do breakfast. So I will start it off. This morning, I am grateful. There's so many things. Flushing toilets. I will start with that. It's a convenience that I never want to take for granted with all the traveling that I used to do before the blood clots. Even flushing toilets are not everywhere. And it's like less than 18% of the world's population has that luxury. So I wore my toilet paper earrings. I don't know if you can see that.
See them. Oh wow.
They're my COVID earrings. Oh, that was one of the funniest cartoons during COVID is there was a cartoon of toilet paper in a pyramid stack, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the caption was something like TPNV or something. Yeah.
Oh, hilarious.
What are you grateful for, Norman?
I am grateful for my close knit. So I'm grateful for my friends, actually. So for people like you. So like last night when we got to go to the Ivy, that was just an amazing time. I think we were laughing so hard, but we were also eating such delicious food.
Deliciousness of life. Oh,
I'm still thinking about that apple pie. So
I picked that one too. Yeah, that was, I know. I didn't take the rest of it. I really was kicking myself that I should have taken that home too.
yes.
We'll have to go back. But
Well,
yeah, shout out to Ivy's.
it's always there waiting for us.
Yes. That's actually where I wore my Pradas and was mistaken for the Kardashian mom. So that has a very special place for me. It was so funny.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like you do need glasses. Although, with the big ones, I'm kind of like the wrong race. But anyways, I am grateful that I get to go to Palm Springs and support. And let me just give them a little bit of love because I love organizations that are part of the solution. So I do not talk about homelessness without bringing you people like Doors of Change that are taking homeless youth off of the streets. I don't talk about cancer without when Fran Drescher came on, she talked about her not SAG presidency, not the nanny, but her preventative education on cancer schmancer. So I am so delighted that there's a I was invited to cover this event. That is, what day is it? It's tomorrow. It's on Saturday. And let's see. It's Daphne Barak and Game
Mhm.
Changer event presents the third annual Starry Night Gala for breast cancer awareness.
Oh, great.
And it's going to be at the Chaparral Country Club in Palm Desert with host Cheryl Hines. I don't know if you remember her. She was
Of course. Yeah.
in Curb Your Enthusiasm and hosted by Eric B. and Patrick Evans. Special performance by country star Alexis Wilkins, Black China, David A.R. White set to appear and present awards, as well as Cheryl's husband. I meant to grab that picture, who is Robert Kennedy Jr. The not the one that is gone, but he is Cheryl Hines' husband, and I actually met them in Peru, of all places, when I was opening a choir festival with the Agape International Choir. So we'll see if they recognize me. But I'm so grateful. Gerard Butler's going to be there. I'm not supposed to say anything, but hopefully Roger's not listening. But it's going to be a great event, and I'm get to cover the carpet and get to walk the carpet. So I'm so grateful for what I get to do in my life. Truly, truly, truly. Yeah, I'm in this natural high place. I think for the last week, I've just been, I got over the hump of feeling like confused by the blood clots and not being able to fly without risk and feeling, a little bit of sadness. But I think I've kicked it all out, and I can do plenty without flying. Let's just put it
Sure.
that way.
Sure.
Yeah. So, one more thing you're grateful for?
One more thing I am grateful for. Another thing I am grateful for is our beautiful weather here in Southern California. Back in the East Coast right now, in Chicago, and all these different places, it's snowing and it's very, very cold and it's miserable. And I have family members that are sending me pictures of the snow plow and all the I just gave a thumbs up by accident.
That's okay.
um
As long as
and
it's
all
not the other
these,
finger.
yes, and my father, he sent me a picture of the measurement of how much snow they got. So he measured the inches, and yeah, it was crazy, and he was outside with shorts and a t-shirt. So I don't know why he was doing that. It's freezing. Stay inside.
He's he was momentarily um maybe not naturally high. No. That's why I left Canada.
Yes.
That snow, man. It looks pretty, but it ain't as yeah, it
Oh
ain't
no,
as
yeah,
pretty
it's
feeling.
beautiful. Like
Sure.
I love the first day, first 2 days is great. And then after, the third day or fourth day when it's slushy and just cold, and oh no, miss me with that. I don't need that.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. And now let's go to the bottom of the bun, which is um, we grow up with well-meaning parents, right? Especially in the American society, sometimes more mean than well, when they say, "You're not all that. Don't brag. Don't toot your own horn. Who do you think you are?" And as a result of that, a lot of us think that we need to find approval from outside. And I jokingly said when I was on your podcast that Gen Zs especially have their antenna up looking for likes. Literally, how many likes am I getting on my social media? And that's a very dangerous place to be, shaky ground when it comes to self-validation, self-love, self-esteem, self-worth, because people can love you one day and hate you the next day. Lord, we both know that, being out, on camera, that's just the way it is. So I want you to weight lift and strengthen your muscle of loving yourself and liking yourself. So what do you like about yourself?
I like that I'm very extroverted. I will say that.
No, really?
Yes, I like I like that I'm able to just go up to anyone and just talk to them, and that's how you make the best opportunities, whether it's for friendship or with business opportunities. You just go up and you shoot your shot and you talk to the person, and because what's the worst that someone could do? Like ignore you or say no.
Yeah. And this is where, like, when I was reading his bio, and that's like tip of the iceberg. And I'm always amazed when I meet young folk who have that joie de vivre and have that BS belief system that you don't have to be old to know things, and you can really learn so much no matter what age you are. And Norman's certainly a great example of that. I'm really grateful that I'm surrounded by people like that of all different ages. But as I said, he's my staff person for the Gen Z population on what's going on. So
Yeah.
I appreciate my ability to be so shy. Sarcasm is another service I offer. I appreciate my ability to love my life. People tease me all the time. I love my life. And it's true. The more I say that and the more I milk that, uh, the more great comes, because that's
Yes.
the way the law of attraction works, which is some of you may think it's woo woo. It's kind of like gravity. Whether you think it's woo woo or believe it or not, it exists. It's a law of life, and whatever you focus on grows bigger. So I have a choice every day, and I like this about myself. I choose to see what's good, and then more good comes. Just try it. If you are uh, um, not drinking my Kool-Aid yet, maybe by the end of the show. Because honest to goodness, if I hear one more person's telling me that life sucks, yeah, I'm gonna hit them with a wet noodle. So it's so important for me to have that BS belief system, and I appreciate that 88% of the time that's where I am. Yeah. So that's it for breakfast this morning, and keep it relatively short because we have a lot that I want to get out of Norman today. His reactions to something that I put together during COVID. But first of all, thanks for joining us for breakfast. Join me every weekday morning here on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show, for taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. And I promise that you will sandwich your day in the most positive way. Thanks for joining us for breakfast. And now for the topic of the day. It is straight talk about possibilities. So during COVID, one of the good things, hashtag COVID silver lining, is people got a chance to shelter at home and have more quiet time and less to do, or at least run around doing, than ever before. And these words came to me uh, after watching the inauguration, and the poet laureate, and I'm going to lose her name because I have great memory, but my recall sucks.
Oh, no worries.
Do you know who I'm talking about? Who
Yes.
her name is?
I believe her name is
Amanda
Amanda.
Gorman. Thank
Yes.
you. I just needed the Amanda part. Amanda Gorman, and she was incredible. And then I woke up with these words, and I sent them to my best friend. She's like, "Oh, you have to, send it off to print." And I said, "No, I'm feeling like I want to put pictures and sound to this." So that's when I came out with my first short film, and my resident film expert is here too. So I wanted him to watch it. And then I thought, you know what? I want everybody to, who hasn't seen it, not a lot of people have seen it. It was released. It got one laurel. I was very happy for my first short film. And it's not too long. So, but the concepts in it, I wanted to see what Norman thought and if he could distill what I was putting down. So it's called PPP, Post Pandemic Possibilities. And I'm going to just launch right into it. And feel free to chat and put your comments on it. And then we'll talk about it. And I'm hoping that if you're not feeling hopeful, that you stay and listen to this, as this is really an inoculation and an injection of hope for anyone who's not feeling happy about the present and afraid or worried about the future. All right, here we go.
It's been a tough, horrible, unanticipated, unprepared for, crappy year called the pandemic. But before we rush back to normal, a normal where there were a lot of overworked, underpaid, angry, frustrated, and depressed people who hated their jobs and lived for their weekends, can we consider a new normal? Take a breath with me. And consider a new PPP, post-pandemic possibilities. What if conforming to the world was exploring the world? What if the question, what do you want to be when you grow up, little girl, turns into, how many streets of life do you want to explore? What if there was another way to grow up believing in yourself so that you don't have to attend the school of hard knocks? What if the current push to do well in subjects that you are not good at, or choose a school that you can't afford, or to declare a major when you are still a minor in life, are not the pressures that cook us raw? What if there was another career path where words like rat race and dog eat dog and climbing or clawing our way to the top are not in our career ladder vocabulary? What if big business control and imbalance, resulting in people stuck in jobs they hate, contributing to dreams that are not their home, were BS belief systems that had to be called out? Like cookies that had to be deleted in a mind browser. What if the lesson in the pandemic is that the trajectory that we've been on needs a hard reset? What if the real virus in our society is currently structured to help a few and hurt many? What if we could say, help our own and help others in the same breath? What if we grew up with global patriotism instead of warring nationalism, and not afraid of helping socialism? What if we were taught how to see past skin color and learn how to value others for who they are? What if you were taught how to value who you are, especially when value was not found growing up at home? What if I knew I was important without anyone telling me? What if I knew that I was of value so that I didn't have to go around asking people to appraise me? What if world peace started with an okayness with ourselves, who we are, and what we think in the imperfect, perfect persona that we splatter on this world? What if we learned self-care skills so that we wouldn't thrash about so much when we were in the middle of the dis-ease with life? What if we could care for others without hurting myself? What if we valued ourselves enough to take care of our own selves, our body, our mind, and our soul? What if we each took responsibility for our own choices and quit blaming others when we insist on dragging our past along with us as an excuse to behave badly? What if we learned relationship skills as soon as we learned addition, subtraction, and how to dissect a frog? What if we knew that all life was valuable, even when we disagreed on how people were living? What if we cut people some more slack when we know they should know better, but because of their own humanness, they temporarily missed a take? What if the purpose of life is not to die with the most toys to leave our squabbling relatives? What if the purpose of life was to do things that we enjoy most of the time, have relationships that we enjoy most of the time, and use our unique talents, gifts, and abilities to fully express in the dash between birth and death? What if there is nothing to be afraid of? What if everything that happens to us is for our divine and best good, even if it doesn't feel good? What if death is not that big of a deal? What if the concept of death is not the hill we want to die on? What if tragedy is not really tragic? What if people dying in tragedy has purpose in releasing more love that we may have trapped inside our minds and our bodies? What if challenges that we face because of skin color or physical limitations or gender or our differences are all conditions that can grow and chisel and elevate us into the most magnificent of sculptures? What if I can turn every single bad, shitty thing that ever happened to me into rich fertilizer to birth and grow all of the potential that I was born with? What if life does not suck? What if I knew I was one of a kind wonderful, that I had a unique gift, talent, and ability to unleash on life one glorious year, day, month, and season of life? What if, as a direct result of this horrible pandemic, we could rise out of the ashes with the new PPP, post-pandemic possibilities? Well, you can. You can rise. You can live in my what if. It just starts with choosing happiness, choosing to love this thing called life, and drop the rock of BS belief systems that have tricked you into thinking that you are not enough. Because all of this is possible if you choose to believe in you first and foremost. Because the buck stops right over here with you, with me, and with us. The sooner you turn "it's impossible" to "I'm possible," the what ifs become possible too. Because you are loving, lovable, and loved, wrapped in a warm blanket of worthiness. But it may start with getting out of bed and making it. What if starts with you. Hi, I'm Dr. Marissa, broadcasting live from this thing called life, trying to get you to drink my rose-colored Kool-Aid and join my Happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years.
So
Wonderful, wonderful. That was very motivational. I feel like I could just do anything after watching that video.
I'm going to give myself a little love. If I do say so myself, that was really good. I mean, I haven't watched it in a bit, and it is well past the pandemic, and yet the words are still like I didn't I didn't that wasn't sorry, that was through me, right? Like that all those words, like 88% of the words I like directly downloaded, right,
Yeah.
from my UPS man, my universal power source, which everyone's connected to. Everybody has their personal hookup with the creative forces of the universe. That's what I believe. And yeah, that was like a straight download. Like most of those words, the phrasing, the concepts, and I
Mhm.
forgot like that. Wow, that was, that was pretty cool. I like the way I said that. Or I like the way I wrote that. And, finding those clips too
I know.
was
Yes, especially during the
was
pandemic when we didn't have access to like just getting into a crew or shooting and everything. We had a lot of limitations then. So kudos to you for being creative to find clips to put together before AI even took over. Like these are authentic, clips that are not AI generated. So
right,
like
right,
I
which
noticed
is, yeah, I have to say this. It sounds a little full of myself, but I am glad that I have a book that's a bestseller before AI. Like that was me. Wasn't anybody posing as me. So, anyways, that was a side tangent, but it is true. I mean, and for those of you who are afraid of I mean, we created AI. So, we get some credit that, we are there's nothing to be afraid of, but that's a different topic. So what stood out to you in some of those themes that you went I saw you nodding your head a lot, but like what were some things like if I said if you could the keeper exercise, if there were one or two or three things you wanted to keep and not forget that were raised in that short film, what would they be?
the one thing I really took away was not being afraid of fear, and not letting fear control your life. Because, I feel like fear is just kind of like an illusion. And especially if you want something in life, I feel like fear comes up like what ifs come up a lot. And so when you get rid of those what ifs and or maybe if you replace those what ifs with positive what ifs, then you find so much more joy and you find so much more success in your life. And then two, another thing that I took away from it, you talked about a lot of different social issues and seeing each other past our skin color, which I wish that a lot of people will take that in, especially right now. So that is something that I really resonated with. And then
Mhm.
another thing that you said, during the short film was, talking about how death is just, something not to be afraid of, but just another step. And, that's a really interesting perspective, I would say, because a lot of people are afraid of death or, they're afraid of like, the concept of like, passing away or something. But like, you know, so for me, I see it as like, it's just another step to, something much greater.
Yes, great. So let's take that one at a time. So I'm going to
Yes,
capture it fear
those
and
were a lot.
then yeah, skin color um and so what is that? Global relations. And then the last one was death. Okay.
Yes.
So let's look at those because I think these are, this is why I wanted you on here is that these are things, straight talk is about talking about things we don't normally talk about, right? Whether we're uncomfortable with them or for whatever reason. I like to put the moose on the table, which is my Canadian version of putting, talking about the elephant in the room. So these are great topics that you picked up from the short film. And the short film, people said, well, what's your call to action? And it's like, do you want them to buy something? I said, no, this was the whole motivation behind this was to get you thinking about more than losing money from the pandemic, more than feeling sorry for yourself from the pandemic, and begin to look at, who am I and what do I want? So that's why the motivation behind all of this. So fear. My acronym for fear is future events already ruined.
Okay.
If you are so afraid of failing, fear of success, fear of ridicule, fear of humiliation, fear of falling flat on your face, fear of not being able to succeed, fear of achievement, all of those um, normal, human, we're not perfect, but they are examples of um, non-personal mastery. So
Right.
you can, and it's interesting because we come into this world and we're told in order to be happy, go to a good school, get a good job, move up, find someone to marry and have children. That is the definition of success, and lots of material stuff and experiences and blah 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 blah. And
Yeah.
that's success. And there are people who got that fame and fortune, and they weren't happy. Robin Williams, Kate Spade, Anthony Bourdain, the list goes on, because they had professional mastery,
Right.
not personal mastery. Personal mastery is I love what I have and I have what I love. And I'm never going to get it done and I'm never going to get it wrong. And I can let other people's reactions affect my ability to enjoy and explore and find new things to accomplish and to revel in, or I can have no fear. So that is that first theme, right? So you have no fear. My middle name is No Fear. And people, you don't have to be as unshy as we are to have no fear, right? It is whatever it is. Try it. I wrote an article for The Sun. I used to do a monthly column called Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. And one of the best moments of my life was walking into a store on Main Street. And the person she goes, "Aren't you Dr. Marissa?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, she had by her the cash register that article for years,
Yeah.
which
Wow.
which talked about a school system for kids that didn't force them into majors because a school was just an experimental laboratory for every child to explore all of the possible things they could be, all of the possible things they could do. And she, I mean, that was like 5 years ago I had written that, and it was sitting, I'm so grateful, right on the cash register, because it inspired a possibility of best case scenario, right? Your what ifs. You say, why can't we look at what if in a positive way, which is best case scenario, instead of worst case scenario? The habit is we look at what could fail, what's wrong with it, right? I call it the difference between paranoia and pronoia. Paranoia is, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Who's going to hurt me? Who's going to take from me? Pronoia is what fabulous things could come out of this.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. And I love crying because tears are the disinfectant that keep my heart soft. So, yeah, we were talking about that at dinner yesterday, like how fortunate we are to do things in my life, and the difference between uh, Norman asked me, you know, because I'm getting more and more recognized, and someone pulled into the gas station because they saw me pumping gas and asked if I was Dr. Marissa. It was just like so funny, and I loved it because I said to Norman, "No, I will never wear, you know, the hoodie or to be not seen and not to go incognito because I'm not an actor. I don't aspire to be that. I am known for hope and happiness, and I'm so delighted when people recognize me for that all over the world. So I, I no, I don't want to be not seen because every time I'm recognized, it's for good. It's not for a role that I play
Yes.
on the screen. So, anyways, if you just tuned in and wondering what's going on in studio today, I'm so delighted to have my new uh, friend, my new media personality, broadcasting influencer friend, with me on camera today. Those of you who are just listening, you'll recognize his voice. He's been a guest of mine before. He's all over my social because we've done things together, and also I've been on his podcast show, which is called
Meet the Makers.
And it's available everywhere, but go to his YouTube TV channel.
Yep.
And he's got more subscribers than I do, but I don't look at numbers. And if you build it, they will come. So, but he has a great variety. And I was honored to be a maker. One of your first makers, I think, on your particular.
Yes, one of the first and one of the most iconic, I will say.
Thank
Because
you.
yes, and one of the funniest, I will say as well.
Oh, yay! I like that. I don't know if I said it on the interview. My husband would tell me every other day I was not funny. So one of the best things about divorce is owning my funny. So yay, I'm glad you told me that. I didn't know that. I love making Norman laugh. He's got such an old laugh. Like you don't. It's like an old man laugh, right?
They say I have an old soul, so you know what?
Yes.
That's true. It's probably true. You know what? I was just joking with my friends about that last night after we had dinner and we went to an event, and everyone was like, "We love your laugh." Oh my gosh, just
right?
Like kind of like Santa Claus.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, and missed the station ID at the middle, but it is. Take my advice. I'm not using it. Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show every 8 a.m. Pacific time on my NBC News Radio, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, KCAA, number one talk in the IE. Thank you very much. Home to the Asian Oprah. And you can free subscribe all of my shows on my YouTube TV channel, where if you free subscribe and give me the finger, this one, not that one, you'll get an alert every weekday morning to tune in to this show about hope and happiness. And my guest co-host for Straight Talk with myself and
Norman King the Fourth.
He is my co-host this morning. I do want to give a pair of tickets for the Asian Oprah giveaway to next Saturday, so a week from February the 7th. It is time to back on stage. You'll remember him. Maybe you won't because you're not old enough, but it's bye Miss American Pie, drove my Chevy to the levee. Don McLean is at the Savant Theater again, long time show sponsor where music meets the soul. Dana giving away Asian Oprah giveaway of tickets, and he just emailed me because I only have one pair of tickets left to give away, but no worries. You can get a BOGO buy one and get one free if you use the promo code. Where is it? Oh boy, I had a feeling. I will come back to you. I think he gave me a code. Anyways, email me and I will, or go to drmarissa.life and I will give you the code. So that is, I put Bobo down instead of Bogo. That is the free Asian Oprah giveaway. One more pair of tickets. So it starts at 8 o'clock. Please support also live shows. Coming out of the pandemic, it really did take a hit, but I will be there, and it'll be a very interesting show. He's a very interesting guy. So, yeah, and let's see. We were watching my short film. You can get it on my YouTube TV channel, which is now 4.6 million impressions. I'd like to thank Gladys Knight personally for upping that 0.4 million because of the beautiful clip I got of her front and center
Yes.
singing, and she flashed peace at me, which was like super cool. What else I was going to say real quickly was, how to find Norman and his show. Tell us how we can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Norman_King_IV. You can also find me on YouTube through my name. Just type in Norman King the Fourth. So Norman King IV. Just put in the search bar on YouTube and you'll find the channel, Meet the Makers, and all the videos. And you can also find me through all other socials, on Threads, on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. And if you want to look at my bio, just you can put in normankingiv.com.
Yeah, lots of different ways. He has the same assistant I do called Google. So that's something that you can easily get. So this was what I wanted to show you before. I'm doing that event in Palm Springs,
Oh, great.
and the hostess is Cheryl Hines, and this is her husband, Robert. I just got so excited that I popped myself out of the studio. Oh, now I lost you too. But
I'm still here. I'm still here. Don't worry. I was like, I hope everything's okay.
yes, I got so excited. My finger slipped on the board, the soundboard. I got
Yes,
popped
yes.
myself out. But yeah, flashing piece there with Robert Kennedy Jr., Cheryl Hines. If you would like to support cancer research, just Google Starry Starry Night, and it's the gala. You can donate. I don't know if there's any tickets left, but I'll be covering the carpet. That is Sunday, the 31st. All right. That is all of the station ID, and let me pop them back out. Here we go. There we go. All right. Now, PPP, post-pandemic possibilities. We were covering those things that hit Norman
Yes.
about the themes in there, and we covered fear, skin color, and global relations. What struck you when we were talking about skin color?
Well, what struck me was that I think right now, especially, and we've been seeing so many instances of racism in America that kind of just we thought that it was going to get better. During when I was growing up, I was like thinking like we were going to live in a post-racial society, because you grew up thinking, oh, this happened, and Martin Luther King Day just happened, and I feel like we still haven't learned our lesson, and we still are treating each other so horribly, and just racially profiling, or just judging each other. And we have a lot more work to do in Hollywood too. I will say we have a lot more work to do with representation, and not giving into stereotypes. I've been fighting stereotypes my whole life, to not be seen as the typical Black man, or the typical brown, whatever you want to call it. using all these labels too. So the fact that I think we need to get to back to like that we're all the same on the inside and the outside too. Really, I mean, we all come from the same root, and so I feel like we're all family. So I think we need to get back to that. And then once we realize that there's not really, really, really actual scientific like difference between us, then we're going to be able to relate to each other more and respect each other more. And then I think, honestly, I would love to live in a society where we just not forget,
Yeah.
but just we ignore the barriers or whatever, like appearances, but we respect each other's cultures and we acknowledge the difference and we celebrate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, I share that vision with you. It's a very gray, non right, wrong, black, white, literally, topic. And I was honored as one of the first diversity consultants in Los Angeles, working with the first bank that looked at diversity and valuing diversity was First Interstate. It got eaten by other bigger
Right.
banks, but just, and then that led to training 55,000 LA County employees in a valuing diversity program. And yes, I think we were doing better. Your generation is one that popped out, saying, no, you can't, cultural appropriation. I mean, it was my nephew was Ensign Kim in Star Trek. That was his role.
Oh, beautiful. Wow.
Yeah. And he was the one that like scolded me when I said something about being Oriental. And he goes, that's a rug. You don't say that. You say Asian. I'm like, what? And so, it was, your generation has done quite a bit for that. And at the same time, it's not that I think we've come a long way, and then we have not come a long way. So this current administration, I will give him credit for ripping the Band-Aid off of some underlying racism and prejudice that never went away with diversity training or with valuing diversity. It just got infected because you couldn't say things in the workplace or things in out in society. And so that whole political correctness movement drove the prejudice underground. That's my
Right.
BS. And so the only positive thing I can say about, what if you hate this country, go home to where you came from. That and the Capitol Hill and what's going on now with the divisions, it is, we cannot seem to see differences as non-threatening. So when people say I'm colorblind, I don't, and you corrected yourself. I'm so glad that you almost said that.
Right.
I don't
Right.
see the differences, and it's impossible. Studies show as soon as you meet someone, you notice three things: age, race, and gender. You cannot get by that. That's just the way we are made. We cannot stop that. So when you say, please don't say I'm colorblind. I know you mean well. I know you're trying to say, not you, but y'all know who I'm talking about. So I know your intention is to say, I don't see the differences, but you cannot not see the difference.
Exactly.
Okay. What you can do is not have a reaction to difference that is less than. So if you think about it, when you walk by a microwave, I don't know if I did this on your show, and you smell something and you're like, right? The first difference is revulsion, oh my God, we need a rule about what you can put in the company a microwave, and difference equals bad, right? So am I saying you should walk by and smell it, you not like, and go, oh, I love, let me try. No, you don't have to do that. You have your preferences.
Yeah.
But can you go by and say, I don't think I'll try that, but I wonder what it is. So can we get to the place where difference equals curiosity? That's
Yeah. I
all
love
I'm
that.
asking.
I love that.
That's all
Yes.
I'm asking, right?
Yes.
Because the truth of the matter is we are different. We cannot be a melting pot. There's no way. I'm not giving up my love for Chinese food. I'm sorry. I do like it. I ain't cleaning for you. I'm not cooking for you. I'm not that kind of an Asian woman either. But there are Asian women. That's the culture they grew up in. And the only way I'm walking on your back is with high heels on. It's going to hurt, you know? So don't tell me I've always been attracted to Asian women, because you know, I'm more than the stereotype, but at the same time, I have some things that are a group difference.
Yes.
So that's because people get so uncomfortable because they don't want to stereotype, but hey, let's balance it out. There are group differences.
Yes, let's celebrate the differences. If we're all the same, it's
Yes,
boring, you
it
know?
would
So
be.
that's why we
It
have
would
good
be.
conversation. We acknowledge differences and we get to, be like, well, I think, even when it comes with relationships, opposites attract a lot of times. Me and my friends don't, agree on everything, but that's the beauty of it, because, we get to have our fun little debates, and we get to just like, what, oh, Norman likes this, and, so-and-so likes that, and that's okay. So, yeah.
We're not meant to love everything, and we're not meant to hate everything.
Exactly.
So let's find the balance. That's why I always say it's about balance,
It
right?
is. It is. I'm gonna switch my camera because my computer is about to die, so it's about to
Oh,
go out. Like how yours was going out, so now I have to switch to devices.
okay.
That way I
All
don't.
right. You do that. We only have a minute and a half left.
Oh, right.
Quickly on death, I will just say that I think you're right that we're afraid of death, and there's nothing to be afraid of. We all come from love, and we all go back into love, into that love soup. All we have, and all I know for sure, is I have a dash, and I have a choice to treat that dash with the most excitement and innovation and creativity and wonder and delight, or to be worried about when that dash is over. Your choice.
Yes.
That's it. That was my final word. What's your final word, Norman?
My final word is, well, I would have to say, live life without fear, because fear is just like, basically, you know what, we shouldn't acknowledge him, her, whatever it is, and just pluck it out and put it to the side, and then go live your best life, and go, get your success, and go get what you want in your life, and you're unstoppable.
Yeah. I'm impossible. I'm possible.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much. This has been fun. Too short as usual.
Yes.
Time flies because we are having fun. And I just know that all of your endeavors and you have a longer dash than I do. I'm ageless, but I am in that last chapter, and I have no regrets. My life motto is no regrets for the past, and don't die wondering for the future. And I wish that for you, and for you to continue in that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marissa.
Absolutely. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. I haven't had that happen in a long time. My hands did not touch the control board. And now I'm going to let you take us out. I have my co-host say what I say at the end of every show. Now go and have the best day ever. But since it's Friday, you say have the best weekend ever. So
have the best weekend ever. Happy Friday.
Absolutely. Here. All right. I'll see you guys Monday.